Hello and welcome to the Genuine Learning Blog. My name is Melissa Galasso, and today we're going to talk about a new proposed SES. So this is a very interesting proposal. I'm not sure why we did it in two phases, but it works for me. These are proposed changes to AUC Section 935. So let's take a look at why we need these proposed changes. So the AUC Section 935 is when you're performing a compliance audit. This is most commonly used when performing a single audit. So when you perform a single audit, you are providing an opinion on whether the entity complied in all material respects with the compliance requirements set up by the federal government, right? So if you have spent more than $750,000 of federal funding, you will get a compliance audit. That compliance audit will verify your compliance with the laws and regulations and terms and conditions of the grant agreement. And so as a result, when the auditor's performing these types of engagements, they are not looking for material misstatement. They are instead looking for material non-compliance. And so AUC Section 935 provides us with guidance on how do we do that as an audit. Because if you think about it, all the other audit sections, 240 is fraud, 315 is risk assessment, those are still applicable to a compliance audit, but we have to change some of the wording. And so 935 helps us understand how other AUC sections are adapted in order to do that, right? So instead of looking for the risk material misstatement, we're going to look at the risk material noncompliance, which is made up the inherent risk of noncompliance and control risk of noncompliance. So it talks about how do you take the things that we already know and love from the audit standard and shift them in order to be applicable to a compliance audit. So 935 is really important when doing a single audit. Now, there is an appendix in the back, which is probably my favorite place to go, which are what is not applicable, right? So certain AUC sections just don't apply, or pieces of an AUC section does not apply when you're doing a compliance audit. And so as a result, there is an appendix that basically says, hey, you don't have to follow either these paragraphs or this entire section. For example, group audit, I believe, is one of the ones in there. And you don't have to follow this at all, right? You get to basically skip this, right? 703, that is for ERISA audits. Well, it doesn't apply to a compliance audit, so you get to skip that. 701, CAM, doesn't apply, right? So they kind of have sections because they're not relevant, or the procedures and guidance would not contribute to meeting the objectives because, again, they're not going to be focused on compliance. They don't make sense. Or there's special guidance like reporting in AUC Section 935. You wouldn't want to follow the normal reporting. You want to follow the reporting in there. And so as a result, this appendix is fabulous. Oddly, I don't know why, when they issued SES 142 and 145, which is AUC Section 500 and AUC Section 315, they didn't give edits to the appendix. And so if you look, they made changes to a lot of the paragraphs. There's new numbering. 315 is a little bit longer now. And so as a result, if you look at the paragraphs as referenced, they don't make sense. They weren't updated for the new paragraphing and the changes. And so as a result, when these came out, they felt like they had to, obviously, they go, oops, we need to fix that. Now, in addition to 142 and 145, obviously, they also issued 143 and 144. The good news is auditing estimates SES 143 doesn't apply at all, right? So that's one of the AUC sections that doesn't apply in a single audit. And so as a result, when they issued changes to 143, AUC Section 540 just continues to be not applicable. So there's no paragraph issues there. And same thing with SES 144. They make amendments to Section 501, 540, and 620. And so they, as they go through this, they did not, only certain application material is not relevant to AUC Section 935. So they felt like that was, that was very helpful. So that is basically just going to catch us up. They could have done it as conforming amendments when they issued 143 or 142 and 145. They didn't. I'm not sure if there was a reason behind that or not. In reading all the information, it just looks like they said, oh, we need to fix this. And so in terms of timing, AUC Section 501, there are, this was where we moved the management specialist out. Those are going to be for compliance audits for fiscal years ending on or after December 15, 2022. So in line with SAS 142's effective date. And then for all other proposed amendments, it would be for 2023, which is the effective date for SAS 145. So hopefully this is helpful to you in trying to understand some of the application here and what makes sense as we go through this. That's why they're doing the proposal. It's just to make sure that that appendix has the right paragraph number. So if you go to look to say, hey, how does this apply? You can actually link over to it, and that paragraph that it's selecting is the appropriate paragraph. All right, so that's a wrap for today's blog. Hopefully that if you perform single audits, this will pique your interest into what is actually in that appendix. It's a really cool appendix. So I hope that you take a look. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you on a future blog. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.